The first thought that creeped in my mind after finishing the trailer of the upcoming Aamir Khan starrer Sitaare Zameen par was that is this the case of me having a perpetual smile on my face because of the objective quality of the trailer, or just because this is finally a disruptor in the clutter of mass commercial action films? Aamir Khan and his current status in the film industry is rather peculiar, as I knew no time while growing up where Aamir Khan was not killing the game. This is a man who was termed as the perfectionist because he seemed to be the only star who consistently created a marriage of commerce and content. I say consistently. Slip-ups would arise, but the man always strived towards bringing us compelling and thought-provoking stories, not just meant for critical praise, but for the masses at large. You have to realize that I grew up watching Aamir Khan movies in the 2000s where the actor was associated with films that still stand the test of time. And the last few years in the industry have seen him stumble, struggle, and go wrong in many ways as a producer as well as an actor. This is something that I'm not used to seeing. Witnessing him being a part of a train wreck like Thugs of Hindustan and then spend years on a remake of Forrest Gump where he gets the pitch of the acting performance so wrong was very disheartening. While Aamir Khan was self-reflective of the same, what I find still fascinating is that he did not jump the tide in adversity. He did not jump on the bandwagon of joint action universes and has in turn, as an actor and producer, backed a project like Sitaare Zameen par, a spiritual sequel to the beautiful Taare Zameen Par, directed by R.S. Prasanna, whose only directorial venture in Hindi was 8 years ago with Shubh Mangal Savdhan. The movie is an official remake of the 2018 Spanish film Championes, which was also remade in English and released 2 years ago with Woody Harrelson in the lead role, a huge risk to take for a star like Aamir, who was absolutely dragged and blasted, somewhat justifiably so, when he tried to remake Forrest Gump. I have so many thoughts to share with you on what I feel about the trailer, and you do also let me know your honest thoughts about the quality of what at least we have seen till now. There is a lot of pressure on Aamir Khan to get this right, and more importantly, beyond the quality of the story, for this to work at the box office. Because I cannot remember the last time, probably in the late 80s and early 90s, where Khan has experienced such back-to-back setbacks. Sitaare Zameen Par will be focusing on the life of Gulshan, played by Aamir Khan, who is a belligerent drunk and an assistant basketball coach who, after a disagreement, gets into a physical altercation with his senior, only to, as a punishment by law, be handed over the job of being a coach for differently abled children. The way Gulshan struggles to assimilate with this new group of students and eventually warms up to the idea of working with them, and more importantly, seeing them as equals, will presumably be the arc of what really comes across as a holistically wholesome and cute story. I want to first get the hiccups out of the way because I think some of it is justifiable criticism, and then move on to why I still feel like I will be rooting for this film. Not because it's just a disruptor, but because I think there is genuinely a dearth of heartfelt and, more importantly, simple stories in Hindi cinema. I want to first talk about the most glaring aspect for me, and that is mainly what I experienced visually while watching the trailer. I've seen the behind the scenes photographs of Aamir Khan from the sets of Sitaare Zameen Par, and for a man who is 60 years old, he genuinely looks great. I don't know why though, the makers of Hindi cinema in general are adamant in convincing us that the 90s batch of actors are made of wax and glycerine. This incessant need to coat the actors with this one uniform color is beginning to look extremely cartoonish, removing even the human aspect of stories. We saw this with Shah Rukh Khan in Dunki, we've seen this with Salman Khan in Kisi Ka Bhai Kisi Ki Jaan, and I really do wonder why there is such an insecurity with just embracing one's age, and I start to wonder, is the pressure truly debilitating? I mean, Dolly Ahluwalia playing Aamir's mother in this movie is just a few years older than him. Is it the case of not being able to cast 80-year-olds as mothers? Well, because it's not practical, I may be reading too much into it. You know, it makes me think about Fighter, the trailer of Fighter, and this close-up shot of Hrithik Roshan. It showed his wrinkles and imperfections, and there were comments talking about him looking old. And I wondered, yeah, He's 51 years old. Irrespective, I genuinely think that the actors we have grown up to love will be reciprocated with the same affection if they wore their imperfections like a badge of honor, versus conforming to these unrealistic beauty standards that want us all to morph into a wax statue in the Instagram bubble. The second aspect of the trailer that is consistently being called out or criticized is the pitch at which Aamir Khan is performing. While his dialogue delivery is spot on, making me conjure up zero complaints about this aspect, which was heavily trolled in Lal Singh Chadda, it is the wide-eyed mannerisms that Aamir executes as reaction shots in the trailer that make people feel like he is still dealing with the hangover of some of his most iconic previous films, where he just tends to overdo his expressions. This immediately reminded me of Rahul Desai's film companion review of Thugs of Hindustan and his assessment of Aamir Khan as an actor when he chooses to portray flamboyance on screen with films like Secret Superstar and PK. Rahul in this excerpt of the review said Khan's on-screen persona is very performative, as if he were counting on the fact that viewers get entertained by Khan emulating a buffoon rather than his character inherently being one. There's always a sense of parody, almost condescension about the way he plays lower personalities, which is why he continues to interpret them as funny folks far removed from the world he inhabits, and he injects each of them with andaz apna apna-ish comic undertones. He tends to overuse his tongue and eyes in such cases, and Firangi, which was his character in Thugs of Hindustan, eventually comes across as a live-action cartoon. And this is so true for the experience we have as viewers when Aamir tends to play something slightly playful on screen, while over-the-top parody versions of characters still go unnoticed like Shakti Kumar from Secret Superstar or his cameo in Delhi Belly, but it is when a slightly anchored Aamir is needed where that subtlety just goes missing. These were the hiccups that I first wanted to discuss with you, and do tell me what you think about the same. I think there is no doubt about the fact that majority of film fans, genuine movie lovers, root for this film because it will in turn lead to a diversity of content being produced from Hindi cinema. I absolutely love the fact that the makers have cast real differently abled individuals for the roles, adding a great authenticity of how Gulshan will warm up to his new basketball team. I like how in Sitaare Zameen par Aamir Khan as Nikum was the voice of reason, acting as the source of understanding and empathy for someone like Ishan, and in this case, you've got him playing Gulshan, who is quite the polar opposite of that character. This, in my opinion, will allow to extract several funny sequences of the adjustment period, where Gulshan gets his act together. I won't lie, it did make me chuckle when Aamir questions the cops drunk ki ye koi park karne ki jagah hai, or when he gets reprimanded in court. The iconic meme of आप कोच अच्छे होंगे पर आप आदमी सुअर हो also made me really laugh out loud. The motley crew of sportsmen and women also seem to have distinct personalities that will surely develop some hilarious moments where Aamir is training them and getting them ready for an ultimate tournament. It was such a breath of fresh air to see Genelia again in a Hindi movie. The last time I saw her in a Hindi theatrical release was Mr. Mummy, and the sooner I forget about that, the better. Genelia was, for those who saw her in movies in the mid-2000s, the quintessential girl next door who seems to provide some level of clarity in Gulshan's life in this movie, much like his mother. I think most importantly, the theme and subject of this story will be aimed at looking beyond our differences that often isolates individuals to embrace the very concept of all of us being unique yet equal. I think this movie and its attempt on social media will get riddled with the remake tag, and that is inescapable. Aamir Khan knew of this subject already existing and consciously chose to tell it from an Indian context. This in turn makes viewers who have seen the original possibly also exclaim that they are not interested in watching it, essentially dividing the audience into two categories regarding this film, of absolute disinterest on one side and of relief on the other that a star is finally backing something different from the rest. The question is, where all of you lie. And that was a video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the trailer of Sitaare Zameen par. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.